Hi guys, it's Rach. Today I wanted to talk about a relatively new collection from Australis. It's their AC Loves Me or AC Hearts Me or AC Slash Me Metallic Edition collection. In it there are 3 nail polishes, 3 matte lip creams, 3 cream eyeshadows, and I'm also going to be discussing the AC on Tour contouring and highlighting kit because this came out at the same time. Although I believe that this is not a limited edition product part of this collection, it's more separate and it should be available going forward. Although it has been crazy difficult to get. I actually went to 6 different price lines a couple of days after it was released and it was sold out at all of them. I ended up purchasing mine online and even now it's sold out online. I do believe that they're slowly getting more stock back in, but if you've been having difficulties trying to get your hands on this, that's why. It was just way more popular than they expected it to be. So I'm going to swatch the products for you guys, the ones that I have, and talk a little bit about them, give you a little bit of a review and talk about how I use them, things like that. Let's start off with the nail polish. I only have one of the nail polish shades. This one is called Swedish Grape Mafia. It's a really pretty metallic shade. It looks quite autumnal, and what I wanted to say, the first thing that I noticed about this collection is that the shades are very autumn-winter-esque as opposed to spring-summer, which is odd given that this collection was released in October, which is spring in Australia. So very strange, but I tend to like autumnal colours more so than I do spring-summer colours. They're just what I'm attracted to, and since I don't really prescribe to those particular trends, I don't mind. But it's the shade that I have on my nails right now. It has a browny burgundy base. I find that the more coats I apply, the browner it gets, but it's definitely burgundy brown shade with some gold reflex in it. It's very pretty. The formula is quite easy to apply. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. This is 2 coats and I can get an opaque finish with it, and I find that it lasts me sort of 2 to 3 days before chipping without a top coat, which is fairly standard for me. I tend to be quite rough with my nails and I find that most nail polishes, high-end or drugstore, chip on me quite quickly, but this had a decent amount of length. If you use a top coat, you're obviously going to get a little bit more longevity out of it. Next we have the metallic finish eyeshadows, and again there are 3 shades. The first shade that I have here is Bronzonce, I think is how it's probably supposed to be pronounced. This is a pretty peachy coppery shade with gold reflex in them. The next shade is JZ. This one is a pretty olive khaki green shade. Again, it has some gold reflex in it. And the last shade that I have here is Plum Diddy, which is a burgundy kind of, it has almost a slightly blackened base to it, really dark brown, almost black base with some red burgundy reflex in it. Again, very, very pretty. These are all very pigmented. The formula is quite unique. It's looking at it, it actually looked a little bit, or the texture of it reminded me of the Stila Magnificent Metal eyeshadows, like when you looked at them in the pot. However, those are more sort of flaky, almost pieces of foil. This has more of a cream base. They are very creamy, they are very pigmented, but they have these kind of weird chunks of pigment in them, which just they do smooth out when you apply them. You just have to really sort of work at smoothing out any of those chunks that are there, and once you do get an opaque full finish, very shiny, pretty. They do have glitter in it, and I do find that that you can almost blend away the base and just be left with the glitter if you really work at blending them out. So you do have to sort of like glitter to like these things. If you're looking for more of just a straight metallic finish or more of a cream finish, then these probably aren't for you because they do have lots and lots of glitter, and I can see it all over my fingers right now. I find that these apply best with your fingers. I often use this sort of on the mobile lid. I'll apply it with my fingers, kind of smooth it out the best that I can, and then I'll take a brush and just do any last minute smoothing or blending of the edges, and that gives you the best finish. They do set and they do give you a decent amount of wear time. I find that I can extend that by applying a primer underneath it. I also think if I use them as a base with powder eyeshadow on top, they do last and wear longer. If I wear them on their own, after sort of several hours, they do crease on me. I do have oily eyelids, and if you are drier, then maybe they'll last longer on you. So they aren't the most long-wearing cream eyeshadows ever, but I find that most cream eyeshadows will crease on me at some point. So for me, I'm quite happy with the longevity of these, and I do think that they can work both on their own and as a base for some other eyeshadows on top. I feel like I don't quite have these specific shades of cream eyeshadows in my collection at the moment, and that's why I think they're worth the money, despite the fact that I already own a ridiculous amount of cream eyeshadows. Next we have 3 Metallic Edition Velourlips, which is Australis's matte lip cream offering. They currently have 10 shades on the market. However, these 3 shades are slightly different from the others that are on the market at the moment because they do have glitter reflex in them, and their base is slightly more satiny. It's not 100% pure matte the way that the other 10 shades are. They do set and dry to a matte feeling finish on the lips, but they do definitely have a different look to them, and that glitter is definitely visible. The first shade that we have here is Nude Fighters, which is a pretty nude shade. It's definitely a pinky brown tone with some gold reflex in them. Next we have a deeper, more wine brown shade with again some gold reflex in it. This one is Riri Wine D. And lastly we have the red shade in the bunch. This is Grandmaster Pash. It's definitely a deepened red shade with some more gold reflex in there. Overall, I find that these wear very similarly to the rest of the Velourlips matte lip creams. They still have that really delicious like grape lolly scent. I absolutely love that. They do set to a matte finish. They are relatively long wearing. I do find that they're not the most comfortable lip product out there on the market because of that matte dry finish. They can be a bit drying on the lips. I feel like you while they do last quite a while, if you do eat, they can tend to sort of crack and sort of ball up a little bit, and I find that the best way to reapply them is just to wipe them off with a tissue and start again rather than reapplying over the top. And I feel like that's the same with all the Velourlips matte lip creams. They will need to be touched up throughout the day. They last well when you're just speaking, but if you eat and drink or have a meal, I find that they do wear away a bit and can be a little bit uncomfortable. That's when I like to sort of wipe them off and reapply again. But overall, I really like these colors. Again, like the rest of the collection, they are very autumn winter shades, so I'm not quite sure what happened with this collection, whether it was done on purpose, whether it was supposed to be released maybe earlier in the year and for some reason that they didn't. It would make perfect sense if it was an American company or a company from the Northern Hemisphere, but this is an Australian company, so I don't quite know where they're going, but it's okay with me because I really like all 3 colours of these. And the last new product from Australis I want to talk about is the AC on Tour Contouring and Highlighting Kit. This says that you're supposed to be able to shape and define like a pro with these 6 powders designed to highlight and contour the face, formulated to provide a natural and healthy glow for any skin tone. So this is the product itself here. It is quite a nice palette. I like the packaging of this. I love sort of the metallic writing on the black matte packaging. It looks quite slick for a drugstore product. This retails for $16.95, which is quite a good price, and I'm happy to see that this product is on the market because I find that traditionally drugstore brands tend to neglect the contouring highlighting process with their products. It is quite hard to find even just a matte bronzer or a contour shade in the drugstore, so I was really excited to play around with this, and I have some thoughts, both positives and negatives. But I can say overall that I do like this product, and I do think that it is worth the money. It's worth checking out if it's something that you need in your collection if you're looking to contour and highlight. So as you can see, you have 3 highlighting shades here, 3 contouring shades. We have 2 matte highlighting shades and then 1 satin finish one. It does have a little bit of glitter, but I feel like it is more of a satin finish. It does give you a shine and a sheen, but it's not overly like chunky glittery, if that makes sense. The yellow base powder is great. You can use it under your eyes to sort of brighten that area. I do think you do need to be careful. I know that yellow is the in thing, and it's the Kim Kardashian way of sort of setting. Everybody loves the Ben Nye banana powder, but yellow doesn't necessarily suit all skin tones, and if you're quite fair, it can actually look yellow and sallowy, so you do have to be careful. But they do have this light skin colored powder here, which I think you can use instead of this one if need be. I can use this on my face, and I also use it to blend out my contour, particularly along the sides of my nose. If that's what I'm doing, I find like I like to apply my contour powder, and then to get a really sort of pro finish, I use a skin colored powder to blend that out, to stop it from looking muddy and to stop me from looking dirty. We have our 3 sculpting shades on the bottom. 2 are definitely more warm toned. This one in the middle is a little bit more cool, but I wish there was a cooler shade. I personally like the idea of having at least one warm tone because you can use that as a matte bronzer, which is kind of what I do with this shade here. I use it to bronze my face, or I can also sometimes use it to blend out my contour a little bit if I want to sort of warm it up on my cheekbone and make it look like a bronzer. But I wish that maybe this one here went even cooler again. I wish one of the shades was a little bit more ashy and grey, and I think that's probably one of the downsides of this palette. But this shade in the middle, I find that all of the reviews that I've watched, most people are gravitating towards that shade, and it is because it's the coolest in the bunch. I find that all these powders are quite pigmented, and that's definitely a good thing. It can be a downside if you apply too much. These powders do kick up quite a bit of powder, which means that it's easy to get a lot of product on your brush. So you want to make sure that you tap off any excess. I often dust my brush on the back of my wrist before I start applying these, just to make sure that I don't apply too much too quickly, and you can always go back in and apply more, but it is hard to blend out when you've gone a little bit too over the top and you can start to look a little bit muddy. So definitely use these with caution. You only need a small amount because they are super pigmented, which is good. You just need to be aware of that. Like I said, I apply this center shade in the hollows of my cheekbones, blending it out. I also run it along my jawline and along the sides of my nose and up along my temples to get a really nice sort of shaped, defined look. I'll then go in and blend it out either just with the brush, maybe with a clean brush, or sometimes, like I said, I will use one of these warmer shades to bronze up my cheeks. Then I like to go in, I do use the yellow powder very sparingly, sometimes mixed with this lighter powder underneath my eyes just to brighten that area. Then I'll often use this lighter cream shade with this shimmery shade, mix them together, and that's what I'll use to highlight the tops of my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, and sometimes down the center of my nose as well. Overall, I think you can use this palette to do a really good job of contouring your face. I think for the price point, for the amount of product that you get, it's really, really good. I don't know exactly how many grams are in each little pan because it doesn't seem to be written anywhere. What does it say here? It says the entire net weight is 21 grams. So I guess divide that by 6 and you've got a general idea of how much products in each. I guess that's just over 3 grams of product in each one, if I'm doing my maths right. So you do get a decent amount of product. I do see this as being a versatile product, one that a lot of people would be able to use. I do think that if you're really, really pale, like I mean really, really fair, then this product might not work for you. You might be better off splurging on just an individual contour powder, one that works for you, because I think that this does have the potential to look muddy on very, very fair skin tones unless you use it super, super, super sparingly. So just keep that in mind. But I think for the most part, there'll be a colour in here that suits most skin tones, and you can definitely mix colours if you need to make them deeper or change the tone of them, things like that. Overall, I think you get value for money, you get pigmentation, you get a range of products, ones that you can make work for you. And if you don't have any products to contour and highlight in your makeup collection, then this is a great place to start and practice with. So they are my thoughts on the new AC Hearts Me Metallic Edition collection from Australis, as well as the AC On Tour contouring and highlighting palette. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing about these products and seeing them swatched. If you'd like to hear any further information, if I've forgotten to cover something, which is highly possible, please let me know in the comments below and I will answer your questions the best that I can. I will have a list of all the products mentioned in the description box below, along with prices and colour names and things like that, in case you missed them throughout the video. So check that out there. You can get Australis in Big W and in Priceline here in Australia, as well as on their website, which I'll have linked in the description box below. I believe they only ship within Australia and New Zealand at this current time, but I recently think that it may be Beauty Joint or one of the online stores is stocking some Australis products. When I work out exactly which website it is, I'll put that in the description box below. I don't know what Australis products they are stocking, but that is a way for you guys internationally to get some products. Now, as a gift for those of you who stuck around to the end of this video, I had purchased 2 extra AC On Tour, oops, let's turn this around the right way, 2 extra contouring and highlighting kits when I purchased mine, so that I could do a giveaway for those of you who maybe haven't been able to find it, or for those of you who are overseas and haven't and can't get your hands on Australis products and maybe wanted to try it, I have 2 to give away. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and comment on this video, give it a thumbs up, and you will be automatically entered to win this product. Like I said, I'll have 2 winners. I'll draw it in about a week's time, and I'll have the winners listed in the description box below once I've drawn it. So make sure you come back to the video in about a week after I post this video and check to see if you have won. If you do, then obviously email me and I'll ship this out to you. As with all giveaways, make sure that you have your parent or guardian's permission if you're under 16, because I will need your address. And like I said, it will be open internationally. As long as you can accept postage from Australia, then you are more than welcome to enter this little mini giveaway. So that's it from me. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you all in my next video. Bye!